Hey, this is Matt once again. What about another video? This is another paid request from Efree. This is the last of his paid requests. First off to Efree, thank you so much for your generosity, your friendship. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate it. Sorry about my demeanor. Number one, just a bit tired. And number two, it's ready to storm outside. So, for all I know, in the middle of this, there'll be a weird edit because the power will go out, because sometimes that does happen. But, we'll see what happens. But this is the last of the reactions that Efree wanted me to do on trailer compilations. This one being on Efree's favorite sports, war, crime, and regular dramas of the 1980s. So that pretty much, the title pretty much tells itself what it is. So, like before in the other videos, I'm not allowed to upload the actual trailers because they will be blocked because of copyright. So the best way to do it is I will put a mega download link in the info box under the video. You scroll down a little bit, there'll be a link. If you want to download it, follow that trailer compilation along with me talking, feel free. But here we go. It's about an hour, 15 minutes, and 39 seconds. Thanks once again, Efree. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. He says this is the actual last one. Sports dramas, war dramas, crime dramas, and regular dramas. Spreader starts off like the other videos with Efree talking, discussing what the trailer compilation is going to be. This is Efree's favorite dramas of the 1980s. He said, by the time you get this, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much for that. And now the first trailer with Warner Brothers. Over the Top. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a drama, and Over the Top is definitely a very underrated film. One of the more underrated Stallone films. Very nice father and son story. Very heartwarming. I thought the kid did a good job. I did not think he was annoying or anything in between. David Mendenhall. Robert Loggia, who was in Independence Day, on many other films. He was a nice bad guy. Terry Funk, a wrestler, is actually one of the bodyguards there. And I think Stallone does a wonderful job. The guy, I think, who plays the bull, that big guy, I think he's passed away. This is a fantastic soundtrack. Now, this song here is like a different version of Over the Top. Because in the movie, Sammy Hagar, but this sounds like someone else singing it. I know people make fun of the arm wrestling element, but to me, that made it a bit different and didn't feel like the same movie. It's more about the father and son story. And Sally was a big bomb. Sally was a huge bomb. that Menahem Golan, who directed the Delta Force, was one of the two that was running canon films. They paid Stallone a good chunk of money. I know Stallone mentioned if he had redone the film that he would take out the songs and I don't know, just like make it more realistic. Is it? But I still think the movie works as is. And the song I was talking about over the top, it's called Winner Takes It All. But great subject, Winner Takes It All, Meet Me Halfway, Take It Higher. And I know there's a lot of people who are in my same headspace where they too enjoy this movie. And I think there's a lot of people that maybe either their dad wasn't the best, or their dad wasn't the greatest, or their dad wasn't the most there for them, and then they see a story like this, and it's yet a very nice father and son story of them reuniting, and they kind of live vicariously, and maybe they just think of Lincoln Hawk as the dad they would have wanted, or the dad they would have liked to have had. I think there's some truth to that, and realism is overrated. The escapism is underrated. I like the glamour and the glitz. I think it makes the film more interesting. A lot more interesting to me. I think this was more of the Sammy Hagar version. The released one, Winner Takes It All. I love that line, when I switch the hat, it's like flipping the switch. There, so when the switch goes on, I feel like a truck. Now I know, like Bull, technically, you had to lose twice, and like Bull only lost once, so it makes you go, well, wait a minute, if you're supposed to lose twice, shouldn't Bull have another turn at the arm wrestling? But because I think that's the thing, is that if you lose twice, you're out of it. But I just figure, you know, it's the last one. Maybe all bets are off in the final bits. But yeah, they should not have just had the whole, if you lose one, yeah, lose twice. But yeah, great movie. Yes, of course, Rocky 3. Rocky 3, classic sequel. Great continuation of the story. You have Rocky, who, he's not being an uptight prick, he's not being egotistical, he's not being unlikable. It's just, with fame, he's enjoying the glamour, the clothes, the commercials, and he has less of that tenacity and angry fighter spirit. And then you come across this guy that'll eat him up, played by Mr. T, is Clubber Lang. And pretty much, you know, Stallone's characters get up there in age, and he gets humbled, and then he has to regain his older self. This helped definitely catapult Mr. T along with the A-Team TV show. One of the great things was that the nice change in direction of Carl Weathers, the bad guy in the first two, if you want to call him bad guy, I don't know how so. The opponent being the guy that helps Rocky. I thought that was a great choice. Yes, when you get to the Rocky 3 and 4, there's a little bit less drama. Well, that's not true. There's a little bit of the drama between Stallone, like Rocky and Adrian. But you tell like the first two a little bit more dramatic, and these one a little bit more bigger than life. But to me, that's in a good way. That closet Bill Conti's store. You got Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. An American tradition. The Rocky films were helping Stallone stay afloat, because whenever he tried to do anything else, they would flop. Except First Blood. But when he tried anything else, it would bomb. Whether it be Fist, whether it be Paradise Alley, even Nighthawks didn't do the best. What's funny is that Dolph Lundgren talks more in this teaser than he does in Rocky 4. Yeah, that's ironic. Just like in the teaser, let's have Dolph talk a lot, but then I think Rocky 4, it was actually better that he doesn't talk a lot, which is one of the many mistakes they made with the director's cut. And yeah, the Rocky 4 director's cut I saw, I did a review of it, I thought it was awful, I thought it was terrible, I thought it was just crap. But the original, the theatrical of Rocky 4, I love. It's my favorite Rocky film. I know people say it's one long music video, but you know what? It's one hell of a music video. I just love the style and energy. It's my favorite soundtrack of all time. Ivan Drago to me is such an intimidating presence and figure. I think Dolph Lundgren was a great choice for it. And as years to come, Dolph Lundgren love I Come in Peace, Men of War, Red Scorpion, Showdown Little Tokyo. A lot of awesome films he's been in. There's Brigitte Nielsen, who was with Stallone at the time, because she was in this and Cobra. Yeah, I think Ivan Drago's Dolph Lundgren did a lot with little words. I think it made him much more of an intimidating presence. And I don't think in Creed 2 you need to give a little bit of humanity to him, because for some reason, if a guy's bad and evil, that means he's one-dimensional. I'm like, there are people out there like that. We call him one-dimensional, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Like, Freddy Krueger is evil. Ivan Drago is a villainous character. And Ivan Drago just had that look and that presence. Like, this is a foe not to be reckoned with. A scene that was deleted in the theatrical cut of the movie, but I think they put it back in the director's cut. Whoopee, like I care. You know what would have been better? A Rocky 4 special edition. With the commentary, you could even have Stallone and Dolph on the commentary together. Documentary. In retrospect, you did not need to kill off Carl Weathers. You could have just really gone the kickboxer route, where Van Damme's brother is not killed, he's just put into a wheelchair. You could have done that with Carl Weathers. You could have just put him in a wheelchair. Because we already had someone die with Burgess Meredith in Rocky 3, so it felt like just doing kind of the same thing. Plus, if you did that, you would not have Creed in Creed 2, which would have been nice. But other than that, yeah, I love Rocky 4. Vince Nicola, I think, did a wonderful job on the score. It's actually my favorite score. Not just my favorite soundtrack with the songs, Hearts on Fire, Sweetest Victory, which is not in the theatrical cut, but it's on the soundtrack. No Easy Way Out. But I think Vince Nicola's score was very fitting and just very well done. Sadly, he didn't do a whole lot of scores other than Transformers the movie, the 80s one. And this film was a huge hit. I mean, this, you could argue, is Stallone's biggest year in box office, because he had Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rocky 4, and both were mega hits. I mean, after that, Stallone was the top of the world, really, at that point. And then sadly, after that, for some reason, his star kind of dwindled for a bit. Cobra, barely $40-some million, not even 50 million, which I don't understand. Over the Top was a bomb. Lockup was a bomb. Even Rambo 3 in the U.S. underperformed. I mean, Crocodile Dundee 2 made more money in the U.S. because that made over 100 million. Rambo 3 made, I didn't 50 some million, 60 million. I don't understand why. I don't know if people are just tired of still. I don't get it. The Karate Kid. Starring Ralph Macchio, directed by John G. Avildsen, who directed the first Rocky. Of course, there's Cobra Kai across the street with Billy Zabka. There's Elizabeth Shue, who didn't come back for the sequels. This whole thing with, people saying, oh, well, Daniel was the bully, this whole meme, I don't know what the hell it is, but it's just so annoying where they take films like this and they just twist it around any narrative they want, and then people buy into it, and it gets like 1 million views, and just ridiculous horse piss, and it just... there are people, like my friends, who make legitimate videos, in my opinion, and they get little views, but then BS like that gets spread around like wildfire. Mr. Miyagi. Pat Morita did a fantastic job as his character. I have a review of this on my channel, but I definitely recommend the documentary More Than Miyagi. It's worth a look. Very sad to hear about Pat Morita's life. Wow. Because of certain events, he, was affected with alcoholism and could never really overcome that demon, which was really too bad. Martin Cove there is Kreese. Just sweep the leg. There you go. Karate Kid, wonderful film. But to me, you did not need... I don't care. I know people love and love and love Cobra Kai. I think Karate Kid ended in the 80s. And this is my favorite Karate Kid film. Karate Kid Part 2. I love that it went to Okinawa, Japan. I love that Daniel felt like he learned something. Like that bit we saw with him, his arm going through the ice. At the end of the film, is that just a tournament? It's a fight to the possible death. I thought the love story was even better in this one. I don't mind Elizabeth Shue, but I like I forget her name. I thought their love story actually worked better. I like this guy who plays the villain, the rival. I said nice that Daniel seems a bit more capable, which made sense. Like I said, we get to learn a bit more of Pat Morita's character and where his culture, his backstory, and the song Gloria Love I thought was a great song. And even Ralph Macchio said it's underrated. I would like to get the 4K because apparently there's a commentary with Ralph Macchio on it, but you can only do it if you're in a pack, which I don't want. I like the first one, but I don't need the 4K of that. I don't want the third one. Third one sucks. I just want this one, but I can't find it by itself. If anyone has Karate Kid Part 2 4K by itself, let me know. I'd buy it. Huh. So there's a little contest. Heart. Was Heart even on the soundtrack Karate Kid Part 2? Sorry, it's like a little like a promotional with MTV. Karate Part 2 was a huge hit. People forget, it was a huge hit. I think it was a bigger hit than the first one. Like I said, I know Ralph Macchio has said that he feels it's an underrated sequel. Oh, that's cool. This one has the Glory Love music as part of it. I'll be your hero. Like I said, I do like the love story in this. To me, this is where it ended, and that's a really sweet scene. The two of them watching the sun is when Paprika's character finds out I think his dad passed away. It's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, to me with the new Cobra Kai, I don't care about Billy Zabka's character. I don't care about his arcs. I just don't. And with Paprika not being in it, to me it's not Karate Kid anymore. When Paprika died, I think Karate Kid died with it. Just to me it's Ralph Macchio and Paprika. Also, I think it's sad that even in his, what is he, 40, 50, he's still having to deal with this Cobra Kai nonsense. I'm like, wow, that's what Daniel life went to, is still messing up and dealing with this nonsense when he was a kid. Like, come on, like, so that's like barely any growth. So I don't know, I just don't care about Cobra Kai. You love it, good for you. Best of the Best with James Earl Jones, Eric Roberts, Philip Ree. And also you have, I believe, Simon Ree. Which I know Philip Ree and Simon Ree, I reviewed this really bad but funny low budget film, and I already forgot what it was called. And this film, they got decent amounts, 3 sequels. Best of the Best 2, which is my favorite. Best of the Best 3, which is underrated. Best of the Best 4, not so much. Oh yeah, you also have Chris Penn. May he rest in peace. I mean, obviously this film was successful enough to get sequels. Chris Penn, I know, is in the second film, and his character gets killed off. Eric Roberts does return in the second film, but he has less action to do. Second film is definitely more like this one is a bit more Eric Roberts movie, although Phil Ree has good stuff to it, especially in the finale. And then the second film is more Phil Ree's movie, and then Eric Roberts was not in part 3 or 4. Damn, I forgot who directed. I can't see. It was too small. Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember when Best 2 came out. Was it 1990? Mitch Gaylord. Kind of an unfortunate last name because it's very easy to make fun of for those who are wanting to do that. I mean, let's be honest. People would go, Gaylord, his last name Gaylord. You know that's what people would do. So, honestly, I'm surprised he wouldn't have just changed his last name. People change their names all the time in the industry, in the business, so I don't know. I'm surprised someone said, you sure you want to change your name? Because people don't make fun of you and go, it's Gaylord. Well, that's his name. His name is Gaylord. So, American Anthem. At first second, I thought this was Jim Cotta. But this is a drama. I don't even know if I've even seen American Anthem. This didn't seem like my cup of tea. But this is definitely of the very nice acrobatics. Almost said aerobics. It's different. Very nice acrobatics. Director of Purple Rain, Albert Magnoli. I know there's another film he directed. I'm like, oh wait, he directed Purple. I forget what the hell the film was called though. Maybe I'll think about it later. Oh, is this I did a lot of titles wrong. Youngblood? Yeah, I know like Patrick Swayze's in this. There's Rob Lowe. I do like this song. Through the fire, there, with desire. This was a pretty decent hottie movie. In the fire, through the wire. I know you have like big roles with Keanu Reeves and some others. And yeah, this is a pretty decent film. Thanks to someone, I have the Blu-ray of this. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. I would just say they don't really. I guess they do make sports dramas, but none of them ever have the flair of these 80s ones because they're labeled too cheesy. Yeah, it's funny, they keep calling it too cheesy, but these are the films that people remember for years to come, while the non-cheesy ones get forgotten quick. Ah, rad. Finally got a Blu-ray from Vendor Syndrome. I am surprised it got one. Looked beautiful. I don't know what happened to that documentary. I know at one point someone said there was a documentary being made. Again, I don't know what happened to it, but there's some features on the Rad Blu-ray, mainly some commentaries. Would have been nice to see like a full documentary though. But yeah, you got Talia Shire from Rocky in this as the mom of Crew Jones. You know, a lot of people wanted that Rocky formula, so it's like, okay, do it for do it for acrobatics, do it for martial arts, do it for BMX biking, do it for hockey, football, whatever. Great soundtrack. Break the ice here, but my favorite is Thunder in Your Heart. I mean, Thunder in Your Heart is literally one of my favorite songs ever. Ah, he made this trailer. Very cool. Great usage of Thunder in Your Heart. Very nice. Absolutely classic. Again, this is the song I was talking about. Love this song. Makes me want to listen to this song fully again. Moves like lightning. Like I said, love that song. Very nice. Ah, we got a Kevin Bacon film. Oh, is this the one where he's on the bicycle? I forget what it's called. Yeah. I forgot what this is called. He's like a bike messenger. There's a Quicksilver? I think there's Quicksilver. I haven't seen this one. Kind of like seems like a little bit more of a dramatic version of that film Premium Rush. Which that's an underrated film, Premium Rush. Oh, Lawrence Fishburne. Very nice. Oh, I like that. I haven't seen this trailer before. I like the way they did the Q for Quicksilver. That's a nice touch on the trailer. Very nice. That's pretty cool. I'm just thinking now, we got Bicycle. Oh, Footloose, of course. Kevin Bacon. Probably you say the film that brought Kevin Bacon. I mean, Kevin Bacon was in films like Friday the 13th, but it seemed like this is the film that brought him a lot more attention as an actor, as a star, was Footloose. It's definitely the film a lot of people think of Kevin Bacon, they think of Footloose. It also makes me wonder with 80s films, why is it like some people, like why some films get mocked and some don't. Like people may go, oh well, they're just dancing around here. Or it seems like that'd be something to mock, but you don't really have people mock Footloose. But then if it's another film, they just sometimes it just seems like pick and choose which film is cheesy and which film's not. What, you don't call every 80s film cheesy then? But, I mean, it's a feel good movie. They did a remake, which I don't know why the hell you would do a remake of. Well, I know why you would do a remake of Footloose, because they'll remake anything. See, when did that remake come out? 2011. Yeah, Dennis Quaid played the John Lithgow role as the Reverend. Is this... Top Gun. Which, yes, I will say, I like more than the sequel. I don't hate the sequel. I thought the action scenes were well done. But I like this film more because I think the love story works better. I think because we've seen this stuff for the first time there, the sequel just felt like they're repeating the first one. So it feels less charm. Also, this definitely has a better soundtrack and a better supporting cast with Val Kilmer and Anthony Edwards as Goose, Tom Skerritt, even have Michael Ironside. Now, I didn't grow up as a super mega fan of Top Gun, but I liked it. But I don't know. I mean, I know people give Top Gun Maverick, it's the best sequel in years, and I had one guy say it's maybe the best sequel ever. I'm like, hey, teach their own, man. I think the film's okay, the sequel. I think the sequel is okay. I would say I prefer the first Top Gun. Yes, I do think the action scene in Top Gun 2 Maverick are good, but I think this is a better movie. That's just me. I do like this. This music in this trailer is better than in the sequel movie. Why didn't you use this music in the sequel? Oh yeah, you had Goose playing like the same way his son plays in the damn sequel. so come on, we gotta have Iron Eagle in this then. Which, yes, I will say I liked more than Top Gun, and I liked much more than Top Gun Maverick. Actually, now I'm trying to remember if Iron Eagle was in the Action compilation. I can't remember. Forgive me, forgive me for my stupidity. Oh, this is an officer and a gentleman. Richard Gere, Louis Gossett Jr. Louis Gossett Jr., I believe, won the Oscar for this role. And Richard Gere, I got the wills to go. I got the wills to go. This has the song at the end. End up where we belong. Da 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 now now. Da 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 now now. Yeah, Richard Gere is one of those actors that I do like as an actor. Don't know about him as a person, but I do like him as an actor. You know, I don't like a lot of films he's in, but well, maybe that's not true. Primal Fear I didn't mind. Hachiko, a Dog Story, which I was a nice, although it's a sad movie. I don't mind this film. I really enjoyed the Mothman Prophecies. This is another one I liked. I gotta remember the name of it. Is it The Flock? Might be The Flock. Let me see. No Mercy I didn't mind. There you go. I got nowhere else to go. Yeah, I think The Flock. I didn't mind that film. With Claire Danes. Ah, yes, Heartbreak Ridge. Heartbreak Ridge. I'm laughing because there's so many great lines of dialogue in that movie. I think Clint Eastwood is... I remember watching this, and it's been a while since I had seen it, and having so much fun with this movie. There's Mara Van Peebles. Pretty much he's a hard-nosed Marine training these recruits. You guys do not impress me. You can run me, you can star me, you can beat me, you can kill me. Just don't bore me. If you ladies think you can slip aside just because your last sergeant was a pussy, well, you don't start acting like Marines right now. Sorry, I just got sucked into the into the fucking. So he improvised. He adapted. He overcame. I'm sorry, that's one of the more enjoyable Clint Eastwood performances. Sorry, I was just watching his performance. I'm sorry, one last thing before I do this. He's like, I turned sertina wire and I pissed napalm. I could put a round in the flea's ass at 200 meters, so I go hump somebody else's leg in my face before I push yours in. Hang on to this. I think war's just been declared. But yeah, this is Full Metal Jacket. I would say this is definitely in my top 5 favorite Vietnam films. Not including films like... If I don't include films like Rambo 2, Missing in Action, stuff like that, if I mean like drama, more serious war, this is up there. I thought Stanley Kubrick did a great job directing the film. I also liked that it told the Vietnam story, but if it looked different. Most of the time you think of Vietnam, you think of the jungle, but you realize there's more than just the jungle setting. There was also like the stuff you see here, the dilapidated, burnt down buildings, and it's like a movie that's two movies. You have the first part with Vincent D'Onofrio being turned into this killing machine, which I thought was very creepy by the end of that part, especially that music, very creepy music, and then the second half. I think Michael Hall was going to be the lead. Actually, I don't mind Matthew Modine, but it would have been very interesting if Anthony Michael Hall was in that role. That would have been very intriguing. But we got Hamburger Hill, which I think is actually one of the more underrated of the Vietnam films. I know I've heard some veterans talk about how this is one of the more realistic ones. Like, this is the one, if they had to give a thumbs up to, this is the one to do it. I thought I had a good camaraderie of the men, and you really didn't know like who's going to live and who's going to die, because people could die at any time. And like, oh shit, that person died, and oh my god, they're shooting at their own people, and what the hell's going on? John Irvin said Hamburger Hill could have been released before Platoon Full Metal Jacket, but Paramount wanted to see if Platoon performed better because the studio thought Vietnam was not a popular subject for box office. And they was pushed back again when Stanley Kubrick pushed for Full Metal Jacket to be released before Hamburger Hill. So then when this was like the third or fourth film to come out, people thought, okay, it's same old, which is too bad. But yeah, you got Steven Weber, you got Dylan McDermott, you got Courtney B. Vance, you got Don Cheadle, very early role with Don Cheadle. And directed by John Irvin, who did, I want to make sure if I got that right, he directed... Yeah, he directed Next of Kin with Patrick Swayze. He had directed Raw Deal with Arnold. Now, of course, this song, you would hear this song again in Consco Island. At least the... We gotta get out of this place. And the trailer, I should say. And when they did the trailer for it. A remix of it, of course. But yeah, I remember that ending very, very sad and haunting. But, you know, it was a very powerful ending. Saying all the turmoil that resulted in taking this one hill. It sees all the carnage below. I thought that was a very effective way to end the film. Very nicely done. An underrated Vietnam movie. Speaking of underrated, Casualties of War, Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn, directed by Brian De Palma. Michael J. Fox, you really felt sorry for. You really felt his grief in this crazy situation. And Sean Penn, just very intense. And you have people like Ving Rhames in there. You have John Leguizamo. What's his name? Oh God, what's his name? Was it John C. Reilly? It may feel a little bit of a different type of Vietnam movie. In a weird way, like a little bit more personal. And it just showed that Michael J. Fox was just as capable in drama. I think this got, when it came out, just underappreciated. Fairly underappreciated. I mean, Platoon got all the accolades, and I liked Platoon, but it's just I liked this and Hamburger Hill and stuff more. But I guess after Platoon, they just didn't think these films were as special just because they had seen other Vietnam War films. But no, this film didn't do well at the box office when it came out. Bat 21 with Gene Hackman and Danny Glover. There was Gene Hackman's trapped behind enemy lines, and Danny Glover's kind of his one lifeline in order to try to help him to get the hell out of there and escape. I'm the lifeguard, you're the drowning man, okay? I think this got a Blu-ray maybe from Kino Lorber. I could be wrong on the company. But I think it's the same director who did Youngblood, that Patrick Swayze film and Rob Lowe film. Yeah, Gene Hackman is one of those actors that I understand why he's retired. Yeah, it just, you get too old. It just, age catches up with everybody. But I just miss seeing him in movies because he always pulled it off acting wise. Just such a consistently excellent actor. Uncommon Valor is one of my personal favorites. And whether it be, he did a good job in the Poseidon Adventure. French Connection 2. People always talk about the first one, but the second one is really good. I mean, Mississippi Burning, Loose Cannons I think is fun. Narrow Margin is underrated. Platoon Leader. This is sort of Cannon's tip to the hand getting in that Vietnam, Platoon, all that era. I mean, hell, it's called Platoon Leader. I just used to say this one tried to be a bit more serious than other Dudikoff movies compared to like American Ninja 1 and 2, as in try to be more dramatic and less about action, although there are action points in it, as you can see here. It's been a long time since I've seen this film. says it's a true story, but how much of it is a true story? Okay, so it is on Blu-ray. It's on a double feature with Soldier Boys by Tino Lorber. Huh, okay, so I'll just double check it. Yeah, it is on Blu-ray. Oliver Stone film Born on the 4th of July. Definitely, definitely a pretty solid performance by Tom Cruise. As a guy who's fairly gun-ho to be, serving his country, and then, things take a turn as he plays a Ron Kovic. There's Tom Berenger, who of course was in Platoon. Again, the younger self is very idealistic, and things take a big change when he goes there. I think the word is disillusioned when he comes back. I come back to the world. Being called baby tail, all sorts of vile crap. Who are they to protest me unless they've been me and been there and know what the hell they were yapping about? It's kind of like you take that speech at First Blood, and that's the movie. That's what Born on 4th of July is. Born on the 4th of July. Film did very well when it came out too. I think Tom Cruise was nominated for an Oscar. I believe that was the case. Well, speaking of Oscars, Rain Man. Well, it says there, winner 4 Academy Awards. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor. What was the 4th one? I do wonder how people feel about this film nowadays. If they feel Dustin Hoffman's portrayal is... Do they feel it too over the top, or something else in between? Well, pancakes. What are pancakes? The issue I have with Rain Man, I don't mind it, but it's just, I thought his turn to be the good guy could have been better written. It feels like for a good chunk of it, he's still this manipulator wanting to get what he could out of Dustin Hoffman's character. That I did not 100% buy into his switch. That's just me, though. But Stand By Me, directed by Rob Reiner. So yeah, Jerry O'Connell, which, man, when he grew up, he really changed himself, and he was on the TV show Sliders, he was in Scream 2, Kangaroo Jack. You also have River Phoenix, which he passed away way too young. Corey Feldman. And Will Wheaton, who would later be in Star Trek Next Generation, and then be an annoying twat on Twitter. good coming-of-age movie based on a Stephen King, which they don't mention because Stephen King is usually associated with horror. That's why they didn't really mention Stephen King on it, because they thought, oh, it's going to be like a horror film. But it's based on what The Body, I believe is the name of the story. Richard Dreyfuss narrates the film at the very beginning. Bookends the beginning and end of the movie. Kiefer Sutherland, fairly good in this. But River Phoenix, I mean, Dan, you just imagine a lot of the roles that come out throughout the years that this guy could have played, and he could have pulled it off very well. I mean, he might have been getting the type of roles Leonardo DiCaprio's getting, honestly. I mean, maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he would. Oh, there's Stephen King mention. Stand by me. Stand by me. La Bamba, Richie Valens, played by Lou Devon Phillips. Which, anytime people think about Lou Devon Phillips, they always bring up La Bamba. To me, I remember more for The First Power, and then Young Guns, Bats. But Lou Devon Phillips did a good job in this. Richie Valens songs very catchy. And of course, it's very tragic because you know what's going to happen, where it's leading up to. You know it's not going to end well. I mean, that's kind of... I mean, you know what the ending is, but it did show the ending. But this is a guy whose star was on the rise and was cut very short, and that's the tragedy of it. Very, very sad. LTP for life. Sean Penn. And that's is this Bad Boys? Yeah. God, what is this actor's name? Not Sean Penn, but the other, I always get this guy's name wrong. Was he the guy in La Bamba playing the brother? Richie, I can't remember. But yeah, Sean Penn is part of a criminal act. He's sent to this kind of juvenile delinquent center. It's one of those films that when it ended, I wish there was about 5 minutes more to get more of a... even more of a summation of the ending, but I remember this not being too bad of a film. Sean Penn film no one ever brings up. That guy Sean Penn was talking to, that was Dirty Harry's partner in the first film, and Stallone's partner in Cobra. Life has pushed me to a corner. He's coming out fighting. Bad Boys. Nothing to do with the Will Smith movie or the song. Yeah, that guy there, isn't he in... I think when I first reviewed this, I fucked up. I said that was... I slipped of the tongue. Oh, it was Nick Corey from Elm Street. It's like, no, it's not. It's I think the guy from La Bamba. Bad Boys. What you gonna do? Yeah, different movie. Sean Penn's kind of a guy you don't hear a lot about unless it's some political stuff. Based on a true story. Oh, is this At Close Range? Yeah. At Close Range is a good one. I would say this is definitely one of Sean Penn's best movies. I thought him and Christopher Walken worked very well. Love the music in this. Now, Sean Penn was with Madonna at the time. That's why they were able to get a Madonna song for this. Was it Live to Tell? Which I like the song, and I'm not like a big Madonna guy, but the score, which is a take on the song, I liked even more. I love the musical score. And yeah, Sean Penn, yeah, Chris Penn. I think you have Stephen Jeffries from the original Fright Night in this. Pretty much the dad is this hard bitten, like cold-hearted criminal that if you cross him, you're done. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like father, like son, like hell. Yeah, here's some of the music in the trailer here. I think. No, maybe not. I thought it was, but if I turn it up a little bit more, no. Sorry, now I'm just watching the trailer. Sorry about that. Now, this isn't the music from the film, but the music is definitely... Yeah, this is the song about Madonna at the end here. That's an intense scene between the two of them, Sean Penn and Walken. Nope. Down, down, down. Like sun, like hell. Down, down, down. Sorry, I got lost in the middle of that. Ah, Cop. James Woods. Easily one of James Woods' best performances. The movie itself might not seem like such a memorable movie in terms of it's not like there's car chases and excellent action scenes or anything in between, but James Woods carries that movie on his shoulders and just runs with it as a guy who's just on this edge, on this little tipsy of an edge that this job's getting to him, and he wants to do the right thing, he wants to do the just thing, and at the end, in my mind, it's a cool ending. In my mind, he's right, but how I put it, well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, you're right, I can't take you in. But the bad news is, I've been suspended, I don't give a fuck. No, you're right, okay. You're right, I'm a cop, I gotta take you in. I didn't realize they gave it away in the trailer. They gave away the damn ending in the fucking trailer. Are you kidding me, dude? Why would you give away the ending in the trailer? They gave away the ending in the fucking trailer. I don't believe that. Well, I do believe it, but I mean... that is so stupid. Ah, Scarface. Tony Montana. And I'm Cody Santana. Hello, Chico. This is Cody Santana. I'm doing a trailer compilation for Scarface with Don Tony Montana. My Chico cousin from my mother brother's side. Al Pacino playing a Cuban Americano. Well, one time coming down to the United States of America. In 1980s Miami. They called it Little Havana. He wanted the American dream. They do anything to do about it, Chico. The Puto Gringos wanted to pay him. They wanted to mess with them. When you get the money, then you get the power. Then we get the power, then you get the pussy. Dealing with the chainsaws and the cocaine. The cockroaches going to mess with me, mess with them. Would that be her, Michelle Pfeiffer? Michelle Pfeiffer. She don't know anything about anything. But grab your testicles. And the many things you learn about this Chico, you have to worry about the other man's greed. Pelican don't fly straight. And these Chicos lying, cheating, stealing. And the soft as a limp dick in the wind, blowing away in their faces. And that you don't tell children, I don't need that shit. So you die now, motherfucker. I love Scarface. It's my favorite Al Pacino film, my favorite Al Pacino role. Just total style, excellent performance by Pacino. Just gravitates towards him, and you just honed in on him and his upward success and his downward spiral because of drugs and paranoia, and got too ahead of himself, like what happens to a lot of people when they get to the top. The only way to go when you get to the top is down. The world is yours and everything in it. And a pretty damn explosive ending. Like, to me, Scarface is a classic, but when it came out, people were like crapping all over it, and yeah, Scarface. I know it's a film a lot of rappers liked as well. Like, every time they would show a rapper and they did like an interview, there'd be some either poster or DVD of Scarface somewhere in the background. The Untouchables. Kevin Costner, Sean Connery, about Elliot Ness going up against Al Capone. Da-dum, ba-dum. Another Brian De Palma film. Some well-staged slow-motion sequences like the staircase action scene. Never bring a knife to a gunfight. I wonder if a Gleam in the Tube will be on here. That's a pretty underrated film. I was thinking with drama, maybe that would be drama. But this is definitely one of Kevin Costner's better movies. I know Sean Connery liked working with Kevin Costner. That's why at one point Kevin Costner was going to be in The Presidio. And that didn't turn out. And I know Sean Connery was a bit disappointed because he wanted to work with Kevin Costner again. And that's one of the reasons he took the big part in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Although briefly he got to work with Kevin Costner again. The Principal with James Belushi and Louis Gossett Jr. war zone of a... I wonder if Class of 84... Did we see Class of 84 on here? Class of 1984? I can't remember. There's been so many. Might have. Same with Gleam in the Cube. Was there Gleam in the Cube during this compilations? Because I think that was 89. By the way, this is a film no one really talked about. I thought Belushi had the right sense of humor and the right... You don't really think of Belushi as, you know, tough action guy, and... But I thought he pulled it off very well. He had a sense of humor, but he had the right attitude as well, where, you know, he doesn't look like he's so out of place in this type of story. And yeah, this one was directed by Christopher Kane, who would go on to direct Young Guns, the first Young Guns. And that's Michael Wright as the bad guy. Which I think I remember him... I think he was in Money Toss with Chris Tucker. As a guy who... It by the end helps out Chris Tucker's character. His men blow away some bad guys. But yeah. Underrated film, sort of a crime, like thriller, action film. Yeah, I was just saying, Class of 84, there you go. See? Class of 84. So then now I wonder if Gleam in the Cube will be next. Do look in my face, I belong to the future. Or you belong to the... See, I'm never good at remembering the exact lines of dialogue. I keep messing it up, but oh well. Never said I was an expert. Directed by Mark L. Lester. One of the guys would go on... I mean, he would go on to direct Commando, Showdown Little Tokyo. Hard-hitting action film in the school where the guy who played the villain... I mean, this pretty crazy but smart idea where he beats up himself and then blames it on the teacher shows that there's an intellect to this bad guy, and that makes him even more dangerous. And then Roddy McDowell have to teach via gunpoint. Definitely a bit of an intense sequence. And then our lead guy wanting to do the right thing, regular teacher that just keeps being pushed and pushed until he can't take it anymore. He just can't take it anymore, and he's got to fight back. The bastards. They pushed them to the limit. My face belong to the future. Don't walk on me, bro. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what... I know I've seen this film. Oh, 315, okay. I was wrapping my head around what the 315, that's right. I remember this being average. Yeah, I remember this film being average, okay. It's not a film I loved. I liked Adam Baldwin's performance, but I just, eh. I thought it'd be better than it was. Yeah, at the end of the day, I thought it was alright. I didn't love the film. It's not like a film I would ever watch again. It was what it was. And that's just me. I know I reviewed it. I'm trying to remember. That says a lot during this whole thing. I'm kind of like fumbling my words. Like, okay, that did happen. Yeah, that did happen. I'm like trying to remember. My damned is what the hell. 3:15. Okay, we got 30 seconds left. Oh, Savage Streets. Okay. Linda Blair. Yeah, another film I always thought was alright. I wouldn't say I love the film, but I think it's okay. Again, it's alright. And that's it. So, thank you once again, Efree. A lot of good trailers in there, a lot of good movies. Hamburger Hill, and Casualties of War, Youngblood, among other films. I probably would put Gleaming the Cube on there. That's like a... I didn't know that was an action or a drama. Just a little bit like a thriller. It's a little bit of a number of things. That's a very underrated film if you haven't seen it, for folks out there. That's with Christian Slater. Underrated movie. Deserves a Blu-ray. I mean, it doesn't even have really a DVD in the US, so that deserves it. True Believer is a good one with James Woods and Robert Downey Jr., where James Woods plays a lawyer. If you like James Woods, True Believer is definitely worth a look. That's another good one. I'm trying to think now, since my brain is like jelly. I'm sure there's others. But, good list. Thanks once again, Efree. You guys take care. Thank you. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.